Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm hanging with my wife, so I'm doing great. I got the best job in the world. Get to goof around and have fun with the one I love. Isn't that nice? I think that's good. Hey, I got a guest.
You're so
up,
different
too.
when the microphones come on. When they're not on, you're
It's like, hey,
cussing
get in here
me
and sit
out,
down.
throwing stuff at me.
I don't do that.
Calling me names.
Hey, that's not. Do we need to have a chat off the air? That's not how it goes.
Don't hit me.
Oh, stop. I got Tim Mohr coming up later in the program. He's got a book called Burning Down the House, H-A-U-S, and it's about how music helped make the German wall fall. So it's actually, I think it's going to be pretty cool. A couple of quotes here as well. Education costs money, but so does ignorance, Sir Klaus Moser. And it's not your job to like me, it's mine. Byron Katie. A couple of great quotes and a lot of fun stuff on this weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, September the 22nd, is National Girls' Night In Day. It's also National Legwear Day and National Brave Day, National Centurions Day, National White Chocolate Day, American Business Woman's Day, Car Free Day, Dear Diary Day, Elephant Appreciation Day, Hobbit Day. Holy cow, there's a lot. National Ice Cream Cone Day, National Hunting and Fishing Day, National Public Lands Day, National Singles Day, and Autumnal Equinox. Sunday, the 23rd, yeah, I know, I thought we were done. National Teal Talk Day, National Snack Stick Day, National Checker Dogs in Politics Day, National Great American Pot Pie Day. We should really trim these things down.
Right.
Also, there's many more. And the rest, as they would say on the Gilligan's
rest.
Island theme song. Restless Leg Awareness Day, I see in there too. And Energize Day. There we go. All of that happening this weekend. I'm exhausted. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, a California physician who appeared on a TV program on Bravo, a dating show. He's been charged with drugging his patients and then sexually assaulting them.
Yikes.
The Bravo show he was on was called Online Dating Rituals of the American Male. So
Okay.
hopefully that's not how everybody treats you, drug you and sexually assault you. Then again, maybe it is. Who knows? I hope not. It's been a long time since I've been in the dating scene, and I hope to never, ever be there again. Never want to do that again. I'm happy with you. I like going on dates with you. That's pretty cool.
You'll probably have to after I die.
You're not going anywhere. We're going to die together at the same time.
You think so?
I hope that's how it goes.
I don't think we probably will.
It'll happen during the rapture. See, I'm optimistic. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. And this is your brain on drugs. This actually could have been part of another feature that we do called Fake News or Florida.
Okay.
But I have so many of those that I decided to do it here. A Florida stripper netted her second arrest of the day when she went from twirling on poles to whirling a hair straightener at another dancer. 26-year-old Ashley Barrett allegedly attacked two coworkers, one of whom was sleeping, around 5:30 in the afternoon Thursday at a VIP gentleman's club in Key West. The stripper told police that Barrett was intoxicated and began to swing a flat iron at them. "We're going to play an evil game," she told one of the other strippers. "I'm going to get you when you least expect it." It was unclear whether the flat iron was hot during the incident. Barrett was arrested earlier in the day for another incident where she allegedly waved a knife at a coworker.
Wow.
The colleagues told police she became upset about started gesturing at them with a knife. According to court records, she now faces charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
Why would she have assaulted somebody who was sleeping?
Don't know. In
what
custody.
Could that person have possibly done?
Something before she fell asleep. She was drunk, Heidi. It didn't make any sense, but she was drunk. Anyway, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. 96-year-old Betty White charmed the crowd last week at the Emmy Awards with her folksy humor. I love Betty White.
I do too.
Isn't she just awesome? 96 years young. An Inside Edition crew was robbed in San Francisco while reporting on crime in the area. And the award for the ironic story of the day goes to... That is so funny. No one was hurt, thank goodness, during the robbery. The crew lost over $10,000 in camera equipment. How much do you win for America's Funniest Videos? Isn't it $10,000?
I don't know.
If anyone has this
it's been
on
a long
film,
time since I've watched that.
It has been. Is that even still on? Do they still do that?
I think they do. Yeah. I don't know.
I remember it used to be called America's Funniest Home Videos. Then they changed it to just America's Funniest Videos.
Right.
And then it was just AFV. Now it's just maybe not on. Who knows? Either way, I cannot believe that is so ironic. They're talking about how dangerous this neighborhood is. People are getting robbed, and they were robbed. Wow. It's what happens, I guess, when you show up in a neighborhood with a bunch of crime, and then you try to report on the crime. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Radio. It's a pretty amazing marketing tool. But like many tools, it works best when used properly. Like, let's take this weed whacker. I could use this to trim my hair. Yikes. Hope that grows back. But that's not what weed whackers are for. Tools work much better when you use them for their proper use, just like radio. If you want help making radio work better for your business, that's our business. RadioReallyWorks.com. Get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com. Now your scoop of the day. Coca-Cola is partnering with a Canadian pot farmer to produce a series of marijuana-infused beverages. The company insists that they're not interested in the hallucinogenic effects of cannabis, but the healing effect that it has on pain is what they're after. Their stock prices actually went up because of that announcement. A CNBC survey is predicting that the damage from Hurricane Florence will cost more than $5 billion to repair. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah. Even if you round up or round down, that's still a lot, however you figure it. And I really hope that insurance covers a lot of this stuff. It seems like every time something happens, they try to find ways where, well, it's not covered.
Well, if you don't have
because,
flood insurance,
yeah,
it's not covered. That's a separate policy.
Probably need hurricane insurance for a hurricane. I don't know how it works. I'm just saying. I'm hoping it all goes well for those who were affected. A poll by Meganalysis. What? Meganalysis? That's quite a word. They found that 30%.
Really?
I can't talk. 30% of Venezuelans only eat one meal a day.
Well, because they can't afford to eat more than that.
Yeah, that is sad. So I hope things go well there as well. The owner of a Dallas daycare has been arrested for keeping a group of toddlers tied to their car seats for several hours.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's not good. You don't do that. That's a terrible thing. And then an interesting story from the Pittsburgh Circus. First of all, did you know there was a Pittsburgh Circus?
I did not.
Nor did I, but there is. And a camel broke loose from the Pittsburgh Circus, causing minor injuries to 6 people.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, can you imagine? Sorry we're late for the birthday party. Got attacked by a camel on the way here. No way. Yeah, seriously. It broke free from the Pittsburgh Circus and attacked us. I mean, that would just be a terrible, absolutely terrible thing to have happen.
That's a bad day right there.
Yeah, it's not a good day. Kim Jong-un told reporters that his summit with President Trump has stabilized the Korean peninsula.
How absolutely wonderful is that?
I
mean, in my lifetime, we haven't had stability there.
The crazy thing is that is being underreported pretty much
absolutely it
everywhere.
is. But you know what? That is a huge huge
Whether you like the
accomplishment.
president or don't, that's still, you got to applaud that. That's really good. A survey by IdeaWorks found that United Airlines has the most hidden fees. So if you're wondering which airline has the most hidden fees, United Airlines. Is that who we just booked something with? Did we really? It was actually cheaper by $200 to go with American Airlines, but last year they left us. So
I will never fly American Airlines.
If you happen to work for them, reach out to us. Maybe
I have
we can make
a
it
very,
right somehow.
very long memory,
She
and
does.
I will never.
They ditched us.
Fly them.
They
again.
knew we were coming. We were in the airport, and we got there 5 minutes early. And I go, "Oh, they
Five
already
of
left."
us.
Yeah.
5 of us. They left 5 passengers, and they left 10 minutes early.
Yeah. They're like, well, we just decided to go.
Yeah, never
All right,
again.
That's gonna. Now that we're done with that, that's gonna do it for today's Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us today. We have Tim Mohr. He's the author of a new book called Burning Down the House, and it's spelled H-A-U-S, Punk Rock, Revolution, and the Fall of the Berlin Wall. Tim, how you doing, sir?
Good, thanks.
Well, we're excited to have you on the program. Let's talk a little bit about your background and what you were doing before you started working on this book and how that kind of ties into this subject. What is it that you have done in the past, sir?
Well, I was just determined to live abroad. I finished college, and it was shortly after the fall of the Berlin Wall, and it seemed like at that time, if one of these mythical third ways was going to be found, it was going to be in East Europe. And so I landed in former East Berlin in 1992, kind of looking to see what was going to happen. And I at the time, I wasn't particularly politically aware or anything. I was a typical kind of clueless American, and I thought all of Germany was Oktoberfest. And I was expecting to get off the plane and find everyone in lederhosen and swinging those big giant beer mugs. And instead, I landed in this East Bloc, typical East Bloc landscape with big gray high rises. But quickly, I kind of landed in this magical, colorful scene that was exploding in the rundown sections in the center of town. There was a lot of squatted buildings and makeshift art and music spaces, and that is where just by accident, I ended up meeting people who had been involved with the East German punk scene. And then it was, having grown up on the sort of Reagan mythology about the tear down this wall and the fact that East Europeans just wanted hamburgers and Levi's, it was startling to meet people who had actually physically fought the dictatorship. They basically sacrificed their bodies through arrests and beatings and jail time. Some of these bands went to jail for up to 2 years as a result of their lyrics. And so here were the people who actually fought the dictatorship in a very concrete way. And that stuck with me. And I always wanted to tell that story eventually. So a decade later, when I became a journalist, I decided to go back and revisit and try to tell that story.
I think that's awesome. Now, I'm looking at some of the prior works before this book, and you've had a chance to collaborate on some amazing opportunities here, working with some of the biggest names in rock and roll, Guns N' Roses and Paul Stanley from Kiss, and many other people that you've had a chance to work on books with. What was it like working with these guys, and were you a big fan of theirs before you started working on the projects?
Well, I was a fan, but it was more coincidental because they're not looking for a fan and a collaborator. They need someone who can help them tell their story. So I'm functioning as kind of a vessel or an advisor so that they can tell the story they want in an effective way. But I'm basically getting their voice onto paper, and I'm as invisible as possible in those works.
So the book, Burning Down the House, Punk Rock Revolution and the Fall of the Berlin Wall, is this a memoir or is this a novel, or what type of book is this? I apologize, I haven't had a chance to read this one yet. So what kind of book are we getting into here?
It reads in a very cinematic, entertaining, fast-paced way, but it is 100% nonfiction. This is the story of a bunch of basically kids with bad haircuts who managed to change their society in a very fundamental way. They started out turned on by the Sex Pistols, but they were able to hear Western radio, so the Sex Pistols got turned on to punk, and eventually it became a full-blown political movement. Basically through harassment at the hands of the police, they became politicized, and then that that changed the game in a lot of ways in dissident circles because the punks, in essence, lost their fear of the police and of the secret police. They would come out of prison and keep fighting, and that really changed the game. Other opposition-minded people saw that it was possible to resist and to survive, and so that essentially helped cause the protests to move out onto the streets and the public eye, and then eventually that snowballs into the mass demonstrations that we saw in the news in 1989 as the wall fell.
Yeah, that is fascinating to me. That this is a different perspective on history than what we're used to. Usually we're seeing history from, the journalism and the news angle, but this is more from the music angle, which I think is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a testament to the revolutionary power of rock and roll. I mean, it's kind of the dream scenario that we think of when of music and music activists. These kids actually pulled it off. They were animated by music, and they managed to, like I said, change their society.
Again, our guest today, Tim Mohr. His new book is called Burning Down the House, and if you're looking for it, house is spelled H-A-U-S. It's called Burning Down the House, Punk Rock Revolution and the Fall of the Berlin Wall. I'm going to make it really easy to find. We'll throw a link in our show notes. Tim, thank you again, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Again, Tim Mohr, and a link to his new book in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
What is a wombat? Have you ever heard of wombat?
I have heard of a
I've heard of them.
wombat.
What are they? Do you know?
I don't know. I
Here's
think
the
it's a
interesting
large
thing.
animal.
Here's the
It's
interesting.
not a bat.
A wombat, their feces comes out in cube shapes. What?
Oh.
What the what?
Interesting.
How does that work?
I don't know.
I've never heard of such a thing. So now I kind of wonder what a wombat looks like.
But you'd be able to see how a square peg comes through a round hole.
Well, maybe they have a square hole. I don't know how that works. But that is definitely a fun fact. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a dog, listen to this. FreshPatch.com is a subscription service that will send you a box with a fresh patch of grass for your dog to use for a few weeks. Then they send you a new fresh patch and you discard the old one. You can throw it in the trash, use it for compost, or even put it in your yard and it'll grow into the ground. FreshPatch.com has thousands of happy dog families who love this concept, especially in the colder months. Try it now for a little less. Use promo code RADIO to save 10%. That's FreshPatch.com, promo code RADIO. Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and it is callithumpian. Callithumpian. You know what a callithumpian is? I think we've had this before.
Do not know.
I'm almost positive. Callithumpian. Callithumpian. Don't you remember it now?
No.
But I spelled it so
I don't
well.
really listen to you.
What was that? Oh. Resembling a discordant band or a noisy parade. Callithumpian. It says here, the club was just a Callithumpian ruckus. It was impossible to carry on any kind of conversation. Callithumpian. Today's grandiloquent word. What are you laughing at? You don't like that?
I just don't like this break.
Well, maybe this break don't like you either. Callithumpian. Today's awesome, amazing, fantastic, grandiloquent word. We're getting to the time of year where we start planning for holiday parties and other events that often include alcohol. I encourage you to have some alcohol-free options as well. And if you are drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. TimeForRehab.com would love to connect you with someone who can be there for you or that loved one. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, we're here for you. TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com. Now some weird news for you this weekend. Cumberland County President Judge Edward E. Guido couldn't suppress a chuckle. I probably said that wrong. Guido, I think is. I don't know how you say it. Anyway, he had to chuckle a little bit as Devin Russo stood before him to enter a guilty plea Tuesday of this week. The man tried to outrun a bevy of Carlisle police on bicycle. He was on a bicycle. They were in a cruiser with a flashing lights and a blaring siren. This guy on a bicycle put up a pretty good fight, apparently. He began his ill-fated two-wheel flight around 3 p.m., and they recognized him as being a wanted man. 2 days earlier, he was accused of punching a woman. So they saw him and they're like, oh, hey, we know that guy. And he pedaled away with all of his might. Several officers on foot tried to stop him as well. Prosecutors added that he did plead guilty to fleeing police for the bike chase and to simple assault for the punching incident. His only deal is for a county prison term that is yet to be determined by the judge, who chuckled at the fact that he was outrunning the cops on foot, or on a bike, rather. So, interesting. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A Georgia man is accused of menacing a pizza delivery worker with a knife. Let's pause for a second. Menacing? He pulled a knife on somebody. That's what you call that?
Okay.
Menacing?
Yeah.
You menaced me. I didn't know that was a verb. Menacing a pizza delivery worker with a knife at a local hotel. Again, this was in Georgia. Police say 55-year-old Samuel Furman Cheek was at the Residence Inn at about almost midnight, 11:40 p.m., and he was staying there. He ordered a pizza to be delivered to his room. They show up and they give him pizza, and then they walk away, but they realize, oh, we never had him sign the slip. So they knock on the door again, and that is when he was very angry, and he began yelling and swearing while holding a knife by his side. Although Cheek says he never threatened the driver. The driver did feel threatened, and he told a hotel employee who called the police. When police knocked on the door, they also got yelled at. So they say, well, at first he might have dropped the knife when reaching for his money to pay for the pizza. He said the pizza delivery man had tried to kick in the room door.
Oh, right.
He was arrested and charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. That would be that little knife that he had. So.
Sure, the guy tried to kick in the door.
That's why this is today's moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Time now for one of my favorite features, Fake News or Florida. Heidi has to tell me if this is a true story that happened in the great state of Florida, or is it fake news that was just conjured up to see if we can trick some beautiful woman by the name of Heidi. So, are you ready for fake news?
I am ready.
Or Florida? A Broward County man stole an ambulance from a hospital because he needed a ride home. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, this is a true story. I actually thought you were going to guess that because I think we read that story a while back.
Probably.
So, by the way, thank you to all of the people who find amazing, fun, ridiculously crazy Florida stories and share them.
I found one the other day of a man in Florida who the neighbors called the cops on him because they were angry that he was outside doing his gardening naked.
Wow.
So he's bending over, cutting branches off, and all the neighbors called the cops.
Would you please put on some pants? You can't make this stuff up.
And there's a photo of him. He's all bent over, and it was blurred out. Yes.
Oh, Heidi, don't tell me that. I don't want to know about that.
It was funny.
Yeah, hilarious. There goes my weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news, especially for people with kidney stones. But first, I should tell you, our good news comes your way courtesy of Odiva. That's the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. Have you ever had kidney stones, Heidi?
I have not, thankfully.
Nor have I, and thank the good Lord that I haven't, and I don't want to get them anytime soon, but if I ever get kidney stones, I'm going to Disneyland or any other place with a roller coaster, because if you're struggling with a kidney stone, this study says you could dislodge it by riding a roller coaster. And the research just won a Nobel Prize for medicine. It's the IG Nobel Prize. Have you ever heard of this?
Here's the thing. I may not know a lot about many things, but what I do know about kidney stones is they are extremely painful. And the last thing anybody going through this is going to want to do is go and stand in line for a roller coaster for over an hour and then ride a roller coaster when you're writhing in pain and you can't even stand upright.
Well, what else are you going to do? Sit around and complain about it? I don't know. It says the IG Nobel Prize is a spoof award for amusing but still real scientific research. So this is not the same as the actual Nobel Prize.
I was going to say.
The studies they're given awards. They're published in peer-reviewed scientific journals, but they all live within the realm of strange and improbable research. This year, Michigan State University professor received it for discovering that riding a roller coaster could actually help patients pass a kidney stone with a 70% success rate. So I do have a link to the story if you want to read all about it.
I'd rather be in a hospital with morphine.
There you go. Well, that's another ride. That's a completely different kind of ride. I do have a link in the show notes for today for the weekend edition at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in to the John and Heidi Show.